Hi guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we're carrying on our inventory series. And if you guys remember, what we did in the last episode is that we have completed our swap item position on the list system. Now what I would like to get today is the ability for us to add a new attribute system. So I would like to be able to see, when I hover the apple, how many attribute you have on the apple, and like if it give you health and things like this. So without wasting too much time, what we are gonna do here is that we're gonna go back to their inventory. We're gonna go back here to the variables, and we need to open up here. Actually, we need to create a new structure. And this structure that we are going to create here, in essence, will be the attribute system. So the thing that I would like to do with the attribute system here is that I would like to add things like, and let me just open up here the example, but things like the name. We need the icon, and maybe what color does that, and maybe a category. So after we can create some kind of a UI to display that data more appropriately or in a better way. So for example, now what we need to do here is I'm just opening up the example on my other page. So what I'm going to do here is that we first need to create the attribute system inventory. So the item. So what we're going to do here is that we are going to go right click, and we're going to create a new structure, and this is going to be called the SD item, or just call we can call item or attribute, right? Attribute, yes. And now we're gonna open up here, and now let's check the design. So on our design, when we add the item, we display them like this, so plus or minus or strength, spirit, and all this stuff. So we need to recreate this information right here. I would like to add the icon of the stats, and also maybe the color that the stats they represent. But on here, we can just display like on this line or something like this. So first thing we're going to do here is that we're going to have maybe two things here. So we are going to add here the stats name. Then this is gonna be just a name, and then we are gonna have an icon, which will be the texture 2D, right? And the next thing we need to add here is, let's say, the color, right? The stats color. And one thing that I would like to add here as well, okay, is another enum. So I'm just gonna right click here, and on the blueprint, I'm gonna add enum, and I'm gonna call this attribute category. The reason why is because maybe you try to create some kind of a UI and you want to display all the health together. It's very common on games like World of Warcraft, these things. So we're gonna add here the category, and this is going to be so it's gonna be a attribute, or maybe e-attribute category here, and this is gonna be only a single value. All right, now we're gonna open up this, and here we're gonna add a couple of things. So the first one is gonna be, let's say, main, and then we can maybe add another thing called, let's say, support. And then after, we can add another one called, let's say, weapon, right? And then you guys can do whatever you want. So default's gonna be main, which is good. Now, the way I would normally like to add these things is by creating the structure, the data table first. So we're gonna go back here to data table. We're gonna find the miscellaneous, and we're gonna actually add here a new item, and we're gonna search here for the SD attribute, and this it's gonna be called DT attribute. All right, so in the attribute, we're gonna add a couple of things. So the first one we're gonna have here is gonna be called didn't want to do that. I pressed the wrong button. I just want to call this health, right? And then we have, let's say, mana. And then we have here something like, let's say, stamina, right? Now we're gonna just, here's gonna be stamina as well. And here we're gonna call mana. And then here we are gonna call as health, all right? Now, I don't have the icons, so let's just get a couple of icons. So we're gonna go back to the icons, and as usual, let's go to the, just to do something different, game icons. You can use any icons you want, even ChatGPT, it's really great to generate those kind of icons. But here, what I'm gonna search is, let's say, health, right? So I have health, so I have like those icons here. So what I can actually do, maybe I can use that. Then I can search for maybe mana. Do we have mana, or what can we use for maybe magic? Yeah, we can use this for the magic one, which is fine. And then, so we're gonna download the PNG. We're gonna download the PNG, and we're gonna search for the word strong here. I just wanna, there you go. So it means stamina, right? And there you go, PNG. Yeah. So what we need to do here now is that I have all those items. I'm just gonna drag them and drop right here. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go back to where I was. What happened here? Don't know why, but I think I pressed the wrong thing. So I'm just gonna add the T dash, and here as well, T dash, and right there, just T dash, and then the wizard face. Right. Nice. So the health, we're gonna add this one, right? Then for the mana, we're gonna add the wizards, and then for the stamina, we're gonna add the strong, right? Now they're all inside main. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to change here is the color, right? The color, it needs to be a linear, right? Linear color or something. Yes. And then we can just save here, right? And then we go back. Then what we do, normally for health, it's just a green color, right? And then the mana is like this blue color. And then stamina normally is green. So we can use that. Nice. So we got all the structures set up, which is good. Now we need to do the next thing, which is actually to attach that to the inventory. To the inventory, no, attach that to the item itself, right? To the item. So there's a couple of things that we need to do here in order to make this work properly. So we need to create another structure which will hold a couple of informations. First one is that if we are increasing the attribute, the amount, and what is the attribute that we are trying to do. Of course, that we could just add them here right away on the item, but the problem is that it won't be grouped properly. I would like to create an array of item attribute. So let's just go here and let's go to the blueprint. Where's the blueprint here? Let's just create one, and we're going to create a new structure called st, and we're going to call item attribute, right? And inside here, the item attribute, we're going to add a couple of things. So the first one is going to be, of course, the attribute itself that we're going to use. And this is going to be a data table row handle. And we can even give a default value. And here we can search for the attribute and make sure is health is the default. Then the next one is we're going to add, of course, here the amount, right? That we are gonna gain, and I'm gonna work with float. I'm gonna just feature proof ourselves, and we're gonna add here action. Is this a positive action or this is a negative action? I do not have this, so we can create a new enum, and this enum right here, we can call this e dash attribute. We're gonna call this item attribute action. So we know that you always stay here. And we're gonna add two things, and we're gonna call add and remove. And in the future, you guys can even do more things. You can maybe do magic, you just go crazy. Here we can actually call the e-item attribute. And here we go. We have all the structure ready. Now, the last thing I would like to do is just that on this page here, I'm just going to put this on the window. I'm going to create here a new folder called attribute. And I'm going to get all this item attribute and SD item attribute. I'm going to move it there. I'm going to move all those things together. Also this item attribute here. And then I'm going to create another one called item. And I'm going to move the item rarity, the item type, the ST item slot. So all these things, I'm just going to move it right there because I want things to be just more clean. And I want to make sure that when I'm on the attribute, everything here is related to attribute. Anyway, now this should work. So I don't think stuff should break on the game. Everything should still, be fine, which is good. Now the next thing we're gonna do here, guys, is actually to set up the item itself. So on the SD item, we're gonna add here a new variable, and this is gonna be called attributes, right? So what is the attributes that the user will have? Well, the player in this case. So in here, we need to search for the SD item attribute. Make sure you select this as an array, okay? And that's all you gotta do here. Now what we can actually do is if I go back to the item data table here, so this, as you can see, it changed quite in a lot of places because we added a new attribute. So I'm gonna do that thing with the engine where I'm gonna close without saving, and then I am gonna just reload the engine. Because what I would like to do here is to make sure that I don't break my project. And since this is going to take a while, I'm going to use to finish the lesson. And then in the next one, we carry on with the attribute setup. See you guys in the next one.